This motorhome belongs to my friend. He's visiting me from another state, and he bought this motorhome because that is his man cave. He's been in a dead marriage for the past 17 years. That's not the entire duration of the marriage. That's the number of years that the marriage has been dead. His wife has stopped being intimate with him 17 years ago. And the reason he doesn't leave his wife is because he's a man of religion, and he does not believe in divorce. I honestly feel sorry for him. I have no respect for the woman that abuses a man like this. I asked him, does your wife work? He said, well, we worked when we were engaged. As soon as we got married, she quit working, of course. He basically works like a dog and pays for his wife and kids, and she stays home, does nothing, refuses to be intimate with him, yet still lives in the house and has all the benefits of a married woman. She is not alone. She is not alone. Not all men are as mousy and a pushover as my friend is. However, many of them are. Other men would go stray because they have biological needs, and who can blame them? But they're still paying for everything. They're still in a dead marriage that died long ago, but they're still on paper married, a meaningless existence with a person that's not much more than a non-paying roommate. Sadly, that describes great many marriages. And I was having a conversation with him coming back from lunch, and I told him, don't take what I'm about to tell you wrongly, and don't be offended, but I'm going to talk to you straight because that's how I live my life. To your wife, as far as she's concerned, you are just a necessary evil that pays for everything and makes her life, her comfort zone, the continuation of her comfort zone possible. The best way I can describe it as an analogy is like if you have a car that's taking you everywhere you want. You know there's an engine under the hood. You don't necessarily want to look at it or make your hands dirty or touch it or mess with it. You just want to make sure that it's working and it's there far away under the hood and it's taking you wherever you want to go. And that unfortunately describes many of the marriages, dead marriages I call them, where the man is just there to serve a particular purpose, but it means nothing to them, to the woman. Now, I also went further to tell him that if you were today to go to your wife tonight and tell her that, you know what, I lost my job and I really don't feel like looking for a new work. I'm just going to sit home and play video games, and as far as money, you know, come 2-3 months from now, we're going to lose the house because I can't really pay the mortgage anymore. And we'll just go live in a one-bedroom apartment where we can afford to live with our savings and there's no more money. I told him that if you were to put that scenario in front of her, it would be just a matter of time before she leaves. Now, she's not exactly a spring chicken, so there aren't a line of men out there waiting to take her. But she would not stay around in this situation because the only reason she's here is for the benefits. Now, if you find yourself in a marriage like that, if you know deep in your heart that you are in a situation where you are just a useful tool to facilitate someone else's life while you're not being happy, is that really something you want to continue? Is that really the way it was meant to be? And if you're not happy yourself, are you able to make someone else happy? Ask yourself that question. Now, there are situations where it is not a dead marriage, it is not a dead relationship, whatever it is, marriage, we just call it that because of that man-made artificial contract that we created. It didn't come from nature. Human beings created that. If you're in any kind of an interpersonal relationship with a woman and it's a one-way situation where you're being used, do you want to stay in that situation? Do you want to be this? You want this to be your man cave? No, that is not how it's supposed to be. You're also supposed to be happy. You have to ask yourself also, am I getting what I want out of this? So many are afraid that if they say the wrong things, if they do the wrong thing, she will leave. Well, let her leave. Show her the door. And if you're not married legally with an artificial business lawyer created contract, you can just open the door, let her leave, or you leave. But if you are in a marriage situation, then it becomes significantly more difficult financially. And if you have kids, then that's just an added inconvenience that you have to deal with. But the point of this video is people like my friend who are just being used, and his basic biological needs, intimacy with his wife, has not been met for the past 17 years. And her excuse, she just doesn't want it. She just doesn't feel comfortable. He said he has friends that tell him, well, I get at least once a month intimacy from my wife. I have honestly, of course, I have disdain for the women that treat their husband like that, but I even have more disrespect for the men that stay in those situations. If you're being disrespected and abused and not valued or appreciated, and you still stay around, then I'm afraid it's your fault and not anybody else's. It's up to you to create the life you want for yourself, the only one life that you have on this earth. It's a gift that's been given to you by God, by nature, whatever you want to believe in, by the universe. And it's shame on you if you waste it while being abused and used by someone else, fulfilling someone else's dream while your dreams are being treated like a doormat. All the best.